This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a 420, 4 joints for my 420 Christmas special here with multiple-time World Tag Team Champion Rene Dupree, who's also a former Great North Wrestling Canadian champion and has held multiple titles in Japan, including the Noah Tag Team Championships earlier this year. But I believe your reign with Dr. Wagner Jr. was cut short due to this crap going on in the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, but oh well.
And anyone that wants to give tips today, Rene Dupree will be getting all the tips. So what have you been doing for Christmas? I see you got a Christmas tablecloth there.
Yeah, I got a miniature tree on the top of it too. Not much.
Nice.
Hung out with the parents and had some turkey, watched Home Alone.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, it's a classic, man. It never gets old. It's great.
There's a bunch of fans on here already. Big Trips says, let's hope you're in a good mood. Rene Dupree in a bad mood?
Me? No.
Darbs 31 just watched my weirdest interview of the year.
I've seen that. Who is that guy, dude?
He's a conspiracy theorist, I guess you could say.
Is he Canadian?
No, he's Japanese.
What?
He was born in he was raised by monks or something.
No shit.
Yes. Some people actually believed them though. All right, anyone with questions for Rene, feel free to ask him. But what's your opinion, Rene? A question for me.
Yeah.
On the state of wrestling this year.
It used to be tackle, drop down, hip toss. Now it's tackle, drop down, watch the flamethrower.
Yeah, they're actually burning. They burnt someone alive on the last pay-per-view, didn't they?
Oh, they drown people in swamps. What else? I don't know.
People have evaporated at WrestleMania. People have teleported. Matt Hardy.
Oh, Matt Hardy teleported, didn't he? Yeah.
And that John Cena, Bray Wyatt main event at WrestleMania.
I didn't watch. I just seen like still photos. Didn't somebody get shot in the head in Impact and died or something?
I will not torture myself watching Impact.
Now do you know why I love wrestling in Japan?
Yeah, well, why don't you tell us about some of your accomplishments this year wrestling over in Japan?
I don't know. We started with a group called Segura Gun and or Segura Army, and we did the Noah Global Tag League, me and Dr. Wagner, and we won that, and then we had a chance to work for the GHC Tag Team Championships, and we won those. And then, yeah, if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would have, well, we'd probably be there right now, actually. But I don't know. I think something's good's going to happen soon. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but good things are going to happen in 221.
Any chance of Grand Prix wrestling returning in 2021?
I don't know. I don't know, man. So what's the deal? Like I know there's like thousands of vaccine doses here in New Brunswick. What's the state in Ontario? Do they have the dosages and stuff?
They're getting it. They've locked us down here for another month, though. Everything closed, including gyms, for a month. Yeah,
because I told you the reason I didn't want to go to Florida was because when you come back, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
See, now that's what you're doing now. See, I wasn't going to spend Christmas by myself here. I mean,
well, I got my dog, but I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. But then I got the surprise the day my quarantine ends, the gyms are closed for a month.
Hey, but did you try that workout I gave you? The
squat push-up one?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to now.
Yeah, man, try that. Just start with 10 squats, 10 push-ups, run, then 20 and 20 and 30. Work way up to 40 and 40. It's only 100 squats and 100 push-ups. But after that, man, you're spent. It's a good workout.
And you got that from training in the actual Japanese dojos.
No, I got that from being bored and thinking of something new.
You have a crazy question here that you've probably never been asked before. Your thoughts on Bigfoot?
Leave him alone, man. He doesn't bother anybody.
You're pretty much out in the woods there in New Brunswick, aren't you?
And I love it. I love it. I don't like big cities. I lived in Tokyo for 4 years, lived in Houston for a year and a half, lived in College Park, Atlanta. Yeah, I'd rather just be out in the woods, man. Isolated. Nobody can find me. Nobody can see me.
Don't forget that shithole in England.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, Brian Dixon blamed me for the roof caving in.
I didn't even hear about the roof caving in.
Oh, yeah. Well, you remember, like, the place we stayed, right? The digs, they called it, right? Well, the roof started to cave in, and apparently it was my fault. I was like, dude, no, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, the roof started caving in. It was my fault. Yeah.
That was a miserable place to work. We didn't even get along that well in those days, but it was the circumstances of driving for those in that cramped car and living in that closed quarters apartment.
Well, that's
what was the worst part for you living.
Probably walking to the gym. Well, no, the walk was okay. It was cardio, but the gym was like a hardcore gym. Oh, there was no like in the wintertime it was super cold and it was hard to get warmed up because you were freezing it.
You would also find used steroid needles in the sink downstairs and broken bottles.
Did you find was there really? I never seen that.
A couple of times, yeah.
Holy shit.
People that would just, I guess, do it right in there. And there was an MMA cage.
Yeah.
In the lower level. It was just about as hardcore a gym as you could get. And a lovely front desk girl from time to time.
I don't remember her.
Oh, she was South African.
Was she?
Yeah.
Did you take her out on a date?
The last night I did, yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
See, I never got anything I never had any girls when I was there, ever.
Oh, really?
Not once.
I can't remember one time you did.
Kayfabe.
Okay. We'll edit that out.
Yeah, edit that one out.
Jofo in the ring. Would you ever face the reigning Great North Wrestling Canadian champion, Jeremy Prophet?
Sure. Well, what's your plan, Devin? Are you gonna run shows if we can?
Yes, I'm actually. Well, now they've fully locked us down again, but I was looking into even somewhere to record some studio shows.
Oh, like empty arena stuff?
Well, just to get something because we have a lot of fans, more fans than ever, actually, but it's very difficult to produce content. And just to keep, I'd at least like the championships defended. Although I think we're going to lose Harry, and my guess would be to WWE soon. What's your guess?
Well, TJ's an agent there, and I think is Natty an agent too? If she's not,
she could be, but I know they've been filming stuff with him already.
Yeah. No, I hope. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure he can throw a flamethrower and drown people in swamps.
Yeah. Well, supposedly the USA Network was really mad at them for getting the lowest rating ever a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And they asked them to be more realistic and more violent, and they respond by burning somebody to death.
Well, the worst part about it, though, is like now people like can take still photos and you can obviously see that it's a mannequin. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it.
What bothers me the most of those Thunderdome tapings is the fake crowd noise.
Right? Plugged in. Well, then again, they used to put plants when I was there too.
Yeah, but you know that it's people just in their rooms sitting by themselves and like these huge reactions. I don't know. I'd rather just hear them hit harder.
Right? I don't
I
know.
think the hardest time you ever hit me was that triple threat match we had in Pembroke with Wes.
Was it a chop?
I think it was a forearm to the head
Really?
on the outside. Yeah.
Oh, like a flipper.
Yes.
Oh.
You definitely hit hard. Everyone's going off about Charlie Haas. He seemed normal to me. I know you knew him. He actually put you over in
Yeah.
the interview I did with him. I know you saw that video of Charlie.
Yeah. Well, he is, well, like you said, he's like 48 or 49 now, right?
Yeah. Basically 10 years older than the last time we saw him.
Yeah. Plus, he's going through a divorce. That'll knock the wind out of any man. Yeah. Especially with 4 or 5 kids that he has. That's pretty hard.
He's got a lot of kids too, and like those will drain you.
That too. I mean, the stress of life. Plus, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, Jesus Christ. Pretty stressful. But you know, the weird part, when I first met Charlie, he had a brother, Russ.
Yeah.
They were a tag team. His brother passed away on my birthday. That was kind of creepy.
He was pretty good too, I understand.
Oh yeah, if they would have been brought up together, like originally, like the original plan, that would have been a huge hit. Yeah. Huge.
Chris, who's watching on Facebook, where I'm also streaming this, asked if you've ever worked with Antonio Thomas.
Yeah, the Heartbreaker. Yeah, he came to Japan for all Japan. He was in the dojo for like 3 or 4 months. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he wrestles anymore.
Mike wants to know if Kenzo is still wrestling.
Yep. No, yeah, I don't think he's wrestling, but he's a producer in Japan for Fuji.
Oh, really?
And Hiroko, his wife, or valet or whatever, she's a politician. She's like a high-ranking politician. Yeah. They're doing well. You have a son? Yeah, they're doing good.
Now we posted this this clip of your WWE concussions instances where you said you got concussions. I did put the link in the description of this video, I think, and in the comments, and it is on the Hannibal TV Facebook page and my second channel, Devin Nicholson, for anyone that wants to watch it. But that's a lot of concussions.
Well, those are just the ones that I could find on film. And no, it's Billy Jack Haynes. You ever talk to him still?
I don't think he has a phone anymore, but I still hear from him now and again.
Well, me and him used to talk to each other like at least once a week for like almost a year. We would call each other, right? And then he was telling me that, you know, in 2007 when Benoit, like, you know, the whole, you know, gimmick. Well, Congress had brought WWF to have like a meeting about concussions and stuff, and like Stephanie McMahon, according to him, said that there wasn't one diagnosed concussion ever in WWE. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's not possible. I can't believe that.
Like if the people watching can watch that video, there's about a half a dozen just with me on television with blood coming out of my head. Oh.
Yeah, what happened with that? I think it was Devon Dudley nailed you with that flagpole.
Yeah, 8 staples. 8 staples. That was in Vancouver. And I had to take I think I took a cab. I had to take a cab to the hospital, got stitched up. Luckily, I'm Canadian, so I had my health care or whatever. And then, yeah, then I had to grab a cab to the airport. But we were in BC, and I asked the cab driver if he had any medicinal therapeutics, and of course, being BC, he did. So it was a good flight back home to New Brunswick. Red eye.
Yeah, I heard that someone was saying yesterday that the Vancouver stuff was strong, but I've never tried it.
Oh, you never tried BC Bud?
No.
Oh, dude. I've been all over the world. That's probably some of the best by far. Yeah.
Now, what about the cane chair shot?
Oh yeah. I had like a goose egg on my head. Like huge. And then afterwards, the choke slam afterwards was really stiff too. So that's like a double shot, right? Boom, boom. And that chair shot 2 weeks before that, Van Damme kicked me in the head at a house show and knocked me out for like 4 hours. So like no time off. See, back then there was no protocol, there was no time off, and I was only 19. You know, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 21.
Wow. Now, I just posted the link in the comments for anyone that wants to look at that. There was another one where Booker T, I guess he elbowed you in the nose or the jaw.
You could tell I was knocked out on that one.
Even you see Eddie Guerrero for a second starting to point when he realizes you're hurt.
Yeah. Oh man, the blood was all over my face. I mean, just watch my face. You can tell I'm not. I don't remember shit. And then right after that show, we had to fly to Iraq for the tribute to the troops or whatever.
Any crazy stories from that? That's got to be a long plane ride.
Well, we flew into Germany first, and then it was my 21st birthday, and Eddie Guerrero surprised me with a birthday cake. I miss him, man. Oh God, you know, all the assholes in the business. Why do you have to take the good ones, you know? But yeah, Eddie surprised me with a birthday cake, and then I got over to Iraq. I had some beef patties, and I got food poisoning. That sucked. So I'm gonna sleep like in these little like trailers or whatever. Like we each have our own individual trailer, and then I'm food poisoning, dude. It's like coming out both ends. So every 15 minutes I have to run because it's about a 5-minute walk to get to the restrooms, and just everything was coming out. It was horrible. Oh.
Mop Shop tipped you $5 and says, "Nice dreams, happy holidays." So thank you, Mop Shop. Anyone that wants to tip today, you just bought them. What would you buy with $5?
This day you can't buy shit. I'll buy
an almond, a handful of almonds. Maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, let's get into the other concussions. There was the one, did you nail your head on the floor on purpose there when the Undertaker hit you with the...
Well, no, because he hit me with the steps, and obviously you're going to have to, snap back. But like that thin layer of gray, that's just a little thin layer of carpet. That's cement, man. That's an arena floor, So you're snapping your head back on that. And then, one of the worst was the test slapping me.
Yeah, what was that? Because it was clear you gave him a working slap, and then he just...
Listen, God bless him. He's no longer with us, but he never knew how to work. You understand? He never learned. Like, plus, he's an Anglophone having to put over a Francophone.
Yeah, there is that feud here in Canada, but it's more Quebec than New Brunswick.
Yeah, but since I was with Sly, I'm guilty by association. Right?
For the fans that don't know, watching from the States, Quebec tried to leave Canada at one point, so there's a little feud.
To this day, I'd say half the province still doesn't want to be a part of Canada. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
Well, I do love those French women. So the French men can be dicks, though. There's some nice ones like Jacques Rougeau, but there's some assholes that do fuck you over because you're English.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
You have absolutely no French accent, though. Like when you speak normally, so you probably even experienced some of that.
No, because when I speak, I'm Acadian, right? So when I speak French. If I try speaking French with like Carl or something, they don't understand my French that well. I mean, they can, but they can't. So then they usually talk to me in English.
Then there was, of course, the picture of you in the Rey Mysterio match a couple of days after Bob Holly decided to start making a match reel without warning you.
Well, the worst part about that, there's a scar, right? But the following day, it was an afternoon show. And then the agents booked us in a hardcore match with chair shots to the head and garbage cans to the head. And my eye was even more swollen than in the picture, so I couldn't even see out of my eye. You know.
One thing I noticed in those videos was how much bigger the crowds were in those days.
Well, I mean, look at their booking, right? They only have themselves to blame. The things they do. But there's a lot of things that they do like you and I aren't aware of because we're not in that position. When you're there, you can understand more as to why they do some of the stuff they do, right? But I can't. Setting guys on fire and drowning them in swamps.
Yeah. I'd rather not watch it personally. Somebody tipped you $7.77. Peter, right. Sell.
All right. I can buy a Happy Meal with that. Thank you. Is that your first Jay, or you got more? Are you still on your first?
Second.
Are you going to take a little break after this one?
I don't know.
You just chill, man. Just enjoy
it is Christmas.
It is Christmas, yeah.
Peter says, who is the real Quebecian? I don't know who the best wrestler from Quebec. I don't know.
In Quebec?
I would say Mad Dog Vachon is my favorite all time. But.
As far as drawing money, like internationally or just in Quebec? Because the Rougeaus are pretty over Quebec too, right? The Dukes?
Oh, yes.
Right?
The Rougeaus were so over.
Super over. And then the Leducs were over. And then I guess, well, Pat Patterson too. So.
Well, what memories do you have of Pat Patterson? Other than, of course, Jim Ross telling a fake story on the podcast that he later apologized for, where he confused you as like best buddies with Pat Patterson.
No, I never. I always liked Pat. Pat pushed a lot for the Canadian guys. You know what I mean? Like Jericho, Bret Hart, they all owe their careers to Pat. You know, if they should admit it too. You know, even in some meetings, we'd have these meetings. I used to call them group therapy sessions before the shows, production meetings. And he would stand up and put me over in front of the whole group, you know, which was cool. You know? But I got a chance to see him before a few years ago. Gave him a big hug, and I'm glad I got to see him before he passed away. So.
Big John wants to know, did all the wrestlers that gave you a concussion do that on purpose?
No, some of it's because they don't know how to wrestle. Some of it's because they're under pressure and they have to make it look good. You know, the administration wants you to make it look good. But a lot of it, listen, a lot of those wrestlers back then, now that I'm older and I'm more seasoned, they sucked. Almost it. They sucked.
Gerald wants to know where he can find your Worldwide Legends shirt. He wanted to buy one, but they're sold out.
Oh, that was a promoter in Wales. He had gotten those done up. Yeah. I don't know. Everybody does these T-shirt stores. I don't know. I never really got into the whole T-shirt store thing. Do you have one, Devin, or you just do it on your own?
We have a merchandise site, which our link is in the description of this video and on the Hannibal TV, where you can buy one of these Hannibal 420 shirts, for instance.
Hey, if I ever go back to wrestle for Great North, you gotta, in my deal, you gotta put in one of those hoodies.
Oh, sure.
I like it.
But yeah, no, it's not that hard to get a Pro Wrestling Tees shirt, but I prefer being with Teespring.
Teespring?
But it's very easy. But you should just get one shirt out at least.
Yeah, I should. Oh. No, no.
City of Roses wants to know if New Japan has expressed any interest in bringing you in. Have you had any talks with them?
New Japan? There's some things happening over there that I'm not going to get into, but they're very, very exciting. I think all of the fans of Japanese wrestling are going to be surprised and thrilled of the things happening in the new year. I know I am.
Someone's making a Jesus Christ prayer for everybody on here. Darbs wants to know if you ever thought about going to TNA.
When I was working for Wrestle One, we had a joint show one time. And the administration were there and they kind of hinted towards it, but no. Devin, didn't you work for them one time? It took you 3 months to get a paycheck?
Yes, and they also weren't honest about the deal to help promote. They were not honest with that. And in previous dealings with them, there was issues as well. So I haven't had good experiences with any of the incarnations, but I did wrestle for them twice.
Yeah, it's not.
But now it's not even more. You mentioned that someone didn't even get paid for 6 months there, and the pay is low.
Oh yeah, I mean, what the?
Yeah, and the creative is horrible. It's the worst creative in all.
Dude, they shot a person in the head with a gun.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I hate all the wrestlers in it. I'm just saying I'm not.
No, it has nothing. No, the guys are just looking to get they're just looking to get exposed and make a living. It's not their fault.
And they did bring back Jazz. They did develop a good women's division, but there's certain booking things that I just can't really forgive them for. Weirzy wants to know, apart from, you've talked a million times about Holly and Bradshaw, was there anyone else that gave you trouble in WWE?
None at all. None.
Excellent. Out of the TV companies nowadays, I did a poll on this channel. AEW was number one. The fans liked the best. WWE was number two. And surprisingly, tied at number three. This never changed from the whole time the poll was up. But TNA, Ring of Honor, and MLW were tied at 5%. Out of those bottom three companies, it's funny that there isn't a leader.
Yeah, it's very niche. Well, All Elite, I'd like to work a program with Cody. I think me and him could tear, because our dads used to wrestle together in Texas back in the day.
Yeah, I agree. That would be good. And it's funny. I posted a picture of you in a clip I put where Peter Smith was saying you guys worked out your differences and are now, you get along and have mutual respect. But I put a picture of you up with that we took at the last Great North Wrestling event in Petawawa. And everyone was like, how many years ago was that picture? As if it was when you were a kid, but that's actually a recent picture of you, and you are actually in better shape now than before. So what are some of the keys to getting that physique?
Nutrition, diet, and timing. When you exercise, when to do your cardiovascular, how to cook your food. Nutrition is key, man. Plus genetics. I mean, Hannibal, you're what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yes.
Well, that's genetics, right?
Correct.
Genetically, I'm 6'3". That's your muscular frame, and you're obviously endomorph. Genetically, you're a big bone guy. I'm like a meso-endo in between. You know what I mean? It's all genetics plus the way you eat.
Do you do much exercises for the abs, or is it just totally diet?
No, I usually do 100 sit-ups a day. I usually start or finish my workout with 4 sets of 25. sit-ups. But yeah, again, diet's everything. Monitor your weight. Keep, if you want to be lean, you got to eat lean. Keep your proteins high. Chicken, fish, eggs. Keep your carbohydrates clean and complex. Dry oats. Low glycemic, like brown rice and baked yams and stuff like that. Just stay away from the starches and the sugars. Sugars to me is one of the worst things ever. Sugar kills more than tobacco, in my opinion.
Interesting. Just because people that get addicted to it.
Well, people are addicted to sugar. You know what I mean? Sugar causes obesity, causes diabetes. It causes, and it's an addiction too. Sugar is an addiction. How many people, when they get upset, especially women, they go get their chocolate cake or their
Oh boy, yeah. Or sometimes like some grandparents get into baking as like a hobby, but that's like the worst hobby you can have.
Oh.
One
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
John wants to know, how did you like being on the Raw and SmackDown video games?
I've never played myself. Never played myself ever. I enjoyed the paycheck. Those were very nice. Put me in another one, please. Since they put me in all kinds of stuff and they don't pay me for it. They still put me in stuff, dude, like books and stuff. I don't get a dime.
Jeff, Detecting and Variety Channel, wants to know, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
British Bulldogs, Macho Man. I can't just say one. There's so many, right? Sky Lolo, Leo Burke, Masachono, my dad.
You have a good relationship with Masahiro Chono. Where does that stem from? Just knowing him all those years from when you were a kid?
Well, just yeah. Well, I first met him when I was 4. I was only 4 years old, and then when I started working over there in Japan, I wanted to see him again. So I went to his shop, and it was just like, there he is. We just hit it off, and then we just talk about stories about Moncton and him coming to the beach in Shediac, and just like family, man.
Well, I hope to meet him one day. I've had a few interactions with him, and he seems like a nice guy. And actually, there is a COVID special message that you and him did earlier this year that he allowed us to post on this channel, so people could look that up. Funny that this Mike here mentions In-N-Out Burger. 80 people in Colorado tested positive, apparently. You suggested I go to a Whataburger in Texas.
Yes, you did, right?
It's very good.
Oh, I used to get a double and a triple, and I stack it all in one. Yeah, I put on like 25 pounds when I lived in Texas, just eating Whataburger.
And you'd throw out the buns, I guess, of one of them, right?
Well, yeah. So I'd just take 2 buns and then stack it. That's like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of meat in one burger.
What a crazy question this is. Y'all's government-backed heroin neighborhoods in Canada are interesting thoughts. Good, bad. I have no idea anything about that.
Heroin? Oh, does that mean like up in BC? Like injection sites?
Maybe. Oh, God.
Like East Hastings or whatever. They allow it. Like shooting galleries or whatever.
Okay.
Well, that's to prevent the spread of disease, right? Like HIV and hepatitis and stuff. Because East Hastings is horrible, man.
This fellow, Musa Jumbalt, obviously, possibly from Qatar, says he met you in 2013 in Qatar Pro Wrestling.
No, I think
experience wrestling
from Saudi Arabia.
Is he?
I think I remember that guy. Yeah, he was fun. Yeah, he was the promoter's buddy, I think.
What do you do there? He's watching on Facebook, by the way, where people can watch my videos now at the Hannibal TV. But what was it like over there? It seems like such a foreign place.
Yeah, different. Beautiful, though. Like the ocean front or whatever. Beautiful, super warm, a lot of money. I mean, it's rich. But like in the middle of the day, it'll be like 100 degrees outside, and there's nobody because they have to pray at certain times. There's prayer rooms everywhere. That's just their culture, right? But we went out one night for dinner. No women are allowed out. It's all dudes, and the hookah, smoking the hookah is big over there. That's like what they do. They'll go out, a group of guys, and just smoke their hookah. No alcohol.
Yeah, isn't alcohol illegal in some of those places?
You can go in a hotel bar, like we were at the Marriott, so there's one, but you can't like take the alcohol in the lobby or anything like that. You can drink in your room, but it's different.
Joe Foe in the ring wants to know your thoughts on Sting going to AEW.
How old's Sting now? Must be like over 60, eh?
I would imagine. I'll look it up.
Well, it's cool they got the face paint on because that can cover his age. So he'll always look the same, right? So he can do that gig for another 10 years, no problem.
I don't think he's 61.
Wow. And I'm sure that Tony Khan's paying him a good paycheck too, just to walk out.
I would imagine if it's more than WWE.
Right? Oh, but maybe WWE made him mad too. That's why he went out, Who knows?
Yeah. Do you think Brock Lesnar's going to go back to WWE?
Who?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, well, wouldn't you take that gig?
Yes.
Come on.
G-Bis wants to know if you had a friendship with Lance Storm.
Not a friendship, but we wrestled a few times together. Yeah. He's a good wrestler. He should have been the Mountie. If they would have given a gimmick to anybody, the Mountie, it's him.
Because yeah.
Look at him. He looks like a Mountie.
That is true.
Huh?
That is very true. Do you think the real Mountie should be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I think Jacques Rougeau, not the Mountie, but the Jacques Rougeau should. Both of them. Just for like the Rougeau name, what it was to wrestling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a whole
It's so sad that Cedric didn't want to pursue wrestling anymore and that it's kind of going to die off.
Well, didn't he have a bad altercation with Arn Anderson? Isn't that what?
I didn't hear about that. Maybe you know more than me.
I was watching an interview with Jacques, and apparently Cedric was in catering, and then like Arn Anderson went up behind him, pushed him like, get out of my way. Like,
oh yes, I do remember hearing that now.
Yeah,
I do remember hearing that now.
Like I know for a fact that French Canadians rub, especially people from the South, the wrong way. But come on, man, make the kid feel like a piece of shit.
But you know what? Jacques and Cedric and we did have a good gimmick idea to be the new Quebecer. Cedric and I with Jacques managing. And honestly, I would have protected Cedric in that case from those type of bullies and also been able to do most of the work for the team. But something about Cedric, the girls fucking love him. I've gone out with him. The girls, they love him.
6'6", 280?
Yeah, so it's just like, why do you guys want a fat piece of shit looking guy like Kevin Owens that looks like the guy working at the fries at Burger King when you could have Cedric with the Rougeau name? Guys would want to look like him. Girls would want to bang him. But whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
he can also do
I'm not bearing anybody. I'm just saying.
Splash thing.
Does he do the gimmick with the?
Yeah.
At that side? It's all politics, bro.
Yeah, and Jacques also told me that he suspected Kevin Owens could have had some pull there, making sure that he wasn't selected from the tryout too.
Welcome to the wrestling business, dude.
But
you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
No, that's why I would rather just work for myself and not have to deal with that.
One thing though, Teddy Hart. You remember when we went to the Mat Rats back in the day, right?
Yes.
And I'm driving with Ted, and he's like, Rene, you know, there's strength in numbers. That's probably the one thing that Ted said that actually, now I'm looking back, actually, he was right. If we would have stayed that little Mat Rats clique together and gone to the United States together as a group, we'd still be working on top. I mean, there's strength in numbers in wrestling.
Yeah, because of the bullying and so forth. Plus, they also had the name as well. It gives some respect. But at least Natty has done the best so far in the WWE, I guess, out of that group. She's had the longest run.
Oh, Natty and TJ will probably have a job there for as long as they want one. It's like an administration as well. You know?
And I really like both of those people. For people that sometimes say I hate WWE, I'm glad people like Natalya and TJ and hopefully Harry back will be making money with them, and at least there'll be some good people at least having some contribution.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can find something for Harry to do. If not, in later years, make him a trainer because he's a better shooter than anybody they got there.
He could really be the star of NXT UK if they wanted to build that up, I think.
I think him versus Walter would be really good.
Yeah. Who was the biggest asshole you met in WWE, Simon Phoenix says?
Bob Holly.
Now, I'm pretty sure the answer is no to this. Have you ever been at any backstage fights?
I've seen a few. Oh, Red Dog. Rodney. I don't know if he wants me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't be mad at me, Rodney, but we're at a house show and it was Raw. And Shane Helms. Shane Helms he likes to, he doesn't back down from nobody, and he's not scared to throw down, but he threw down with the wrong guy because Rodney, Red Dog, I call him Red Dog. Nicest guy in the world, laid back, country boy, but don't fuck with him, man, because that guy will eat you up like a pit bull. Like, he is tough. He's the kind of guy you want on your side. Great guy, though. Yeah. Anyway, I walk into the training room. I didn't see the actual thing happen. Then I walk into the training room. There's Hurricane just covered in face, covered in blood. I guess they did something happened in the match, and yeah, he mowed it off at the wrong guy.
Yeah, because he's actually in great shape too right now.
He's like 50. He's 50.
Well, I think he could have his best run yet, and SWE Fury is a great place. And now it just came out today. They announced it. Selena De La Renta is going to be the Blood Hunters manager going forward in SWE.
Oh, that's that little Hispanic girl.
Yes, the manager of champions in MLW.
She's beautiful.
So SWE Fury, maybe one day we'll see Rene Dupree there. I don't know. I know there will be some collaborations with Great North Wrestling.
I'll go for the Whataburger.
Yeah, you'll go for if they buy you your Whataburgers.
That's all I want. I don't want pay. Just give me like a bunch of Whataburger.
That would be funny. Did you ever work with Jamie Dundee? Wow, what a character he is.
No, he's a character. I don't know. No, I never met him.
How did you enjoy working with MMA legend Sakuraba?
Devin, did you ever watch Sakuraba fight the Gracies?
I don't recall. They
call him the Gracie Hunter. He beat all the Gracies. He's chain smoker. Drinks. Great guy. You can tell he's got a lot of head trauma though, like concussions, obviously from MMA. But great guy. And
Todd Stewart, sorry, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Please ask the stink face question. What the
hell is that?
People, I don't know. I've never heard of this.
Do
you know Luc Poirier?
No.
Did you see the fight between Goldberg and Chris Jericho?
No, I missed that one. I was backstage for that though. I always miss everything. I never see it. I also missed the big brawl in England. We're in Manchester, England. We're doing a SmackDown shooting TV, and I went down to the hotel bar to get some bottled water, and then Benoit was there drinking. That's the first time I seen Benoit with a buzz on alcohol, and I saw the rage in his eyes. Right, so then I said, something bad is going to happen. I have a sense of something bad, so I don't want to be around it. But later that night, there was a rugby team that were staying at the same hotel bar, or the same hotel, and they all went to the bar together. And you mix a bunch of drunk wrestlers with a bunch of other athletes. Yeah, I guess it was a huge brawl. I didn't see it though. I was up in my room.
We've got a lot of fans on here writing positive comments. You can tip them too if you want, fans. Robert Brown, did Ring of Honor ever approach you, or NWA, I believe he means there.
And one time when I was in Japan, I was with All Japan, and Noah was on tour, and we were in the same town. And then Delirious, he's the booker. He came in, and we were talking. I emailed them, but they're really tight with their money too. As far as, again, we're Canadian, and to get a proper work permit, you're talking 5 figures. You know what I mean? So, and that's a whole lot of paperwork too. So it's like a 3 to 6 month wait. You have to pay 5 figures to get it if you're even approved, and then, you know, I'd have to move from the Maritimes. Like, I live in Moncton, New Brunswick. I don't want to live anywhere else. Like, I enjoy being at home near my parents and in the woods here. I enjoy it. So, like, flights from New Brunswick to the United States it's cheaper to fly from Moncton to Tokyo than it is to fly from Moncton to, like, Texas. You wouldn't think.
Yeah. No, I would actually think it'd be a lot. I think it'd be more. It's cheaper from Moncton.
It's cheaper to fly from Moncton to Tokyo than it is to fly from Moncton to Texas.
Wow.
Cheaper flights. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of the woods, someone asked earlier, what's the most unusual thing you've seen in the woods over the years?
Well, I live right beside a wooded area. I wake up in the morning early. If I go out, like, to go to the gym, I see deer all the time in my front yard. I don't know. Is that weird?
Probably for most people.
Right. We're Canadian, so maybe.
You ever chase one down and ride it?
Nah. No.
All right. This music biz guy, the stink face question was, did you ever take a stink face?
I think Tori Wilson maybe once.
Oh, well, you know, that's like not even a job.
No, yeah. That was awesome.
What do you think about guys like, it's funny about, I heard an interview with Roddy Piper talking about he'd never kissed Vince McMahon's ass, and he says it's sad that an employer would make an employee or independent contractor kiss the employer's ass, even if it is a storyline. And they showed a picture of William Regal kissing Vince McMahon's ass. But I now notice that, like, Piper was on bad terms with WWE, and William Regal ended up being promoted to bigger jobs.
Devin, that was Regal's creation. The kiss my ass thing. That was
he invented that?
Yeah, that was his idea.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's credit him for that. But as far as, would you say, like Piper bad mouthing and then going back?
Yeah, well, Piper was saying that, and then he went back. I think he only went back for like the Legend House and stuff.
No, dude, it's the roar of the crowd. It's the once you get that, it's it's a drug, especially when you go on that level with those packed houses, man. It's the adrenaline rush you need. And a lot of guys that are bitter and stuff, it's because they're not getting their fix. That's really what it boils down to. I've been guilty as charged too. At least I'm mad enough to admit it. There's times where just, well, you know what it's like being in front of 4, 5, 10, 20,000 people?
Yes, I was actually on a few of those shows when you were wrestling for them.
Well, there you go. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Even if you I remember when Heidenreich clotheslined me in Edmonton, it was a packed house. And like, even though I was taking the move, the roar of the crowd when I took the clothesline was like an ultimate high as well, which people have a hard time knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's a nice question. Ryan wants to know, who did you get along best with in WWE?
All the non-wrestlers, like the referees, the seamstresses, the merchandise guys, the cameramen. Like aside from like this, some assholes in the locker room that are usually insecure, whatever. A lot of people that work there are just really, really good people. I mean,
PW909, who is your top heel of all time, top favorite heel?
The original Sheik. Tiger Jeet Singh in Japan.
Good choices as I'm chewing ice here. Who helped you the most?
Pat Patterson, definitely. Fit Finley, definitely. Those are probably two. But like in Japan, Tajiri, Chono, Muda. Yeah. But Tajiri and Chono for sure.
Osama wants to know if you ever got to meet the Cuban assassin. I'm guessing he means the original one from Canada, Angel.
Oh, of course. Dude, he basically gave me on-the-job training. That's what my dad put me with. Christ. He was probably the biggest name here in the Maritimes between him and Leo, Killer Call Crew, the Great Malumba, but definitely Cuban. To this day, if you say the name Cuban Assassin in the Maritimes, everybody knows who it is. Legend.
City of Roses is obviously a big Japanese wrestling fan with his anime face there, and he keeps asking you Japanese questions. What's your opinion on DDT Pro Wrestling?
I got to be careful what I say. See, there's so much wrestling in Japan. There's so many different promotions that they all have to be different. So they're just trying to be different. I think there is a market for that. I mean, like I compare it to kind of like when my first promotion when I went to Japan in 2007 was Hustle. And Hustle was, I mean, they had like Kawada dressing up like Elvis and doing a song and dance routine, and Aki Bono was hatched out of an egg. And, I mean, they were bringing a lot of celebrities and stuff. So it was, more like a entertainment type wrestling, which is kind of like what DDT is. But I mean, hey, if it wasn't for DDT and the promoter there, you would have never seen Kenny Omega getting high as he getting shots with All Japan and then New Japan. So
Lots of people want to know if you've seen Sasquatch, cougar, or bears out in the woods.
when I did those northern tours up in Ontario, those death tours.
Yes.
I've seen a few bears, like small ones. Yeah. Cougar, I don't know if I ever seen a cougar. I might have. I don't know. They really stand out.
Justin wants to know if you ever met The Undertaker. He's one of the people in that Concussions video that we put the link to in the description. He didn't do it. It's the way the bump happened. But you did something with him there. But what else have you done with him?
We did a few house shows together. Main event house shows like in Ohio. Yeah. He's retired now, right? Is that what I saw? At least for the time.
Well, yeah, but retirements. Again, you know what bothered me most about that was they piped in the fake crowd music during the time, and it just made me think, man, the whole crowd would have been crying. You could have had a great moment if you just wait, but they needed something.
No, I'm sure they'll do a Hall of Fame gimmick with him, right? They'll wait till people are there. Because he's eventually going to get put into the Hall of Fame, right? So they'll just wait till people are allowed in the buildings to do that big send-up. I imagine that's what I do. But then again, honest opinion, dude, like once you put over Brock, that should have been it. Like sayonara. You know what I mean?
Lori P., one of our great female fans here on the Hannibal TV, says, hello, Rene. What happened to Fifi the poodle after your time together? Merry Christmas. Watching from Australia.
Ozzy. Fifi, that was just a show dog, dude. They had every town they come, there'd be a different dog. And I just wanted that because I was a huge British Bulldogs fan, and I knew what can you do to stand out on a television show? You come out with a French poodle. And you remember when we were kids, Devin, like teenage years, what was the one show that preempted Raw? There was only one show a year that preempted
the Westminster Dog Show.
And what's the most visual?
The poodle, yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
So, people love dogs, and French poodles are the most visual captivating. I don't know if that's the word I can use. So plus I'm French, it fits the gimmick, right? And I wanted merchandise from it. That's what I really wanted. So
very good. Somebody on here says Stacy Keibler or Mickey James. Stacy Keibler for me.
Oh no, Mickey. Oh yeah. Oh, as far as just because Mickey's great. I can actually have a conversation with Mickey. Stacy's the type of girl in high school that I couldn't stand. You know what I mean? Mickey's the kind of girl I'd hang out with.
T Green thinks you and Christian would have made a good team.
Well, before Edge and Christian got brought up to WWF, they were working here for my dad as a tag team, Suicide Blondes. It was Christian Cage and Sexton Hardcastle. Yeah. I still have the autograph upstairs in my parents' bedroom. My parents' house. My bedroom, my parents' house.
Was Glenn Kolka doing those tours too?
Yeah.
What do you make of what happened with him? Because it seemed like they wanted him and they wanted to give him a big Goldberg-style push. And
the merchandising was right. It was going to be Kulkamania. No, great guy. Incredible look. He had really bad cardio, though. He was blowing up a lot in the ring when he was working here. But great guy, really nice guy. And then I think he was in Winnipeg, right? He had a show in his hometown. He jumped off the second rope and snapped his leg. That was it.
Yeah, I remember he actually worked out in my gym when I was a kid because he was, I guess, the only other famous wrestler from my town other than me.
He's a big bastard, man.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was going to make it for
Oh,
sure, but yeah, I guess that was the reason why. Very strange. It's too bad they never made your dad's territory a development territory.
They wanted to. 97. They remember Carl DeMarco?
Yes.
Yeah, he called up my dad. Well, that's how Kolka and another guy, Rodney Blackbeard, they came here through them. But no, to do business with WWF, it's very, very difficult, you know. And we didn't, you know, we were paying them. We were paying them the same weekly guarantee that majority of the NXT guys make now. That was my dad was paying that out of his own pocket. We didn't ask them for a dime to do it. But the only thing he asked for was like, okay, well, give us, a major star for a weekend so we can draw a couple of houses, Give us Bret Hart for a Friday, Saturday or something, you know what I mean? That's all we ask for in return, and we'll train as many guys as you want. Because this would have been the best developmental territory. I don't care how big. You can have a multi-million-dollar facility with 10 rings and all this high-end production. Dude, you got to get to the grind. 7 nights a week in front of a live audience. Weekly towns, monthly towns, every night. You think about it. We had Bad News Brown here, Rip Rogers, Rick Martel, and then you had all the Don Callis. Was just, these guys were just green. Don Callis, Scott D'Amore, Christian Cage, Edge. They're all just in their early 20s and working with the veterans like Rip and Martel and Bad News. And that's the way the business works. That's how you learn every night. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, and now there's not even going to be many house shows.
Oh, business is dead.
Speaking of people that don't want anything to do with wrestling anymore, what are your thoughts on Rick Martel wanting to be in wrestling?
He was the best. Oh, yeah. Big Martel fan. Yeah.
Someone on here was asking earlier your thoughts on Sylvain Grenier's time as a producer with the WWE.
So did you do some research? Has it gotten released?
I have no idea, actually. All I know is he did a commentary job for Impact.
Well, I texted him as soon as I heard Pat was gone. I just, gave him my condolences and said, hope he's well. But I can't imagine him staying along now that Pat's gone. But who knows? I don't talk to anybody, man. You're like the only guy I talk to.
Guardian of Chaos wants to know, do you think adding Rob Conway to the mix was a good move?
They had to because the gimmick was over, but me and Sly hated each other. And that's why when I left, I went and worked with Cena, and then Sly and Rob went on to win the championships, I think 3 or 4 more times. And then it was me and Rob. We were just making everybody else look good. So that was my destiny, bro.
To answer this Osama guy, it's not Rick Martel's kid in NXT. No relation at all there.
Is the Martel? Oh, isn't that the guy who's using Martel? He's a French Canadian too, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of him before, but yeah.
I think I wrestled him once.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now they're Kevin Steen's friends, so that's where it helps to be on the good sides. Bambi Killer.
Bambi.
Any good Joe Rogan stories? Or Joe Doric, sorry.
I'm trying to think which ones I can say that won't get us arrested. Joe's great. He's a great guy. You'd like him, Devin. No, I don't want to embarrass him or embarrass myself or put us. I had a lot of crazy times with Joe.
It's the Bambi Killer himself asking.
Is it? Well, Bambi knows that I can't say that shit publicly.
Oh boy, we better do some research on that.
Yeah.
Ron Stewart wants to know who you based your style off.
Nobody really. I don't know. Just 23 years of going out there and doing it. I don't know. I think Macho Man's Lanny's father was Angelo Poffo. He had a quote: "Suffering builds character." You know what I mean? And you hear all the time they're wrestling, right? Oh, we need characters. We need characters. Well, characters should come from within. And the more you suffer as a professional wrestler, meaning paying your dues, getting fucked over on pay, you know, or bookings, the ups and downs that you go through in the entertainment business period, I think that builds character. I think that's what's lacking now. There's a lack of suffering, and the guys that usually have that experience and those dues paid and have suffered usually have the most character, and it comes across the camera and to the people. I think that's what's missing in wrestling too. Everything's too scripted and overproduced, but you can produce a talent all you want. If he really has it and that charisma that people can see, you know, you can't hold him down. Bryan Danielson is one prime example of that, I think. Yeah. Sorry, am I going off? Oh, I thought number 3?
We were letting you go. Oh, this will be my last one for tonight because we're winding it down here. Thank you, fans, for all the comments. I'll go through a few more questions, but anyone that wants to tip Rene, give him a tip. Otherwise, I'll give him a Christmas gift.
Send me one of those actually, you don't have to. I got the Wwe Reserves at the shop. So.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Some of the greatest talent in pro wrestling have come from Canada. True. Who is the stiffest guy you ever worked with? Michael Allen Rubin wants.
Ooh. Stiffest. Kawada. I've noticed Noah is pretty snug. Yeah, this one guy, Kenyo. He's we're the same age, but he won the national karate champions like 3 years in a row. And he lays his stuff in. But I don't mind it as long as it's in safe places, you know. Don't kick out my teeth. I don't mind snug.
No. What do you think of the Stardom girls? Gilia is fine as hell, this gentleman.
Oh my God. Devin, have you seen those girls?
No, I have not.
Oh my God. It's like they're like the models. And they're kick-ass wrestlers too. Like that Julia girl, she's half Japanese, half Italian. And then there's Suri Kondu. I've known her since she was 18. We were in Hustle together. She's half Japanese, half Filipina. And I mean, these girls, I think that's where Asuka came from, Kana. I think she came from Stardom. But just the way they train, they're amazing, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
This person says, God bless you. Ryan says, Rene claimed to love the black and white golden era of wrestling in previous shoots. Can he elaborate?
Well, the one match that to this day I can sit down and watch no matter what is Buddy Rogers versus Pat O'Connor, the 2 out of 3 falls match from Comiskey Park. Anytime I do like seminars and stuff, I always tell people to, or when I'm in Japan with the young boys, like if we're on the bus or whatever and I have a long trip, after the show we have a couple of beers and I'm like, okay, let's sit here and watch this match. And I mean, to me, that's the art of wrestling is demonstrated in that one match. But there's all kinds.
Last question. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Guardian of Chaos wants to know, your thoughts on Chris Jericho's longevity, and what was your experience working for him, or working with him, rather?
I hope I can last as long as he can, But 85% of his business is backstage politically, and he definitely has mastered the art of that 85%. That's a compliment.
Mop Shop remembers Bulldog Bob Brown from your dad.
Dude, you never met Bulldog Bob? No. Have you ever heard stories?
Not really, no.
Oh, he's a character.
Interesting.
You gotta watch his old stuff, dude. It was great.
Did Iron Mike Sharp ever work up there?
Who?
Iron Mike Sharp.
I don't think so. No. Danny Crawford did. Phil LaFon. Yeah. He was fucking awesome. Eddie Watts.
Now you're gonna get a shirt shop going in 2021, but what's your social media where fans could follow your posts that you make?
Well, just my Facebook. It's under my real name. But I'm not really. You can follow me on the Facebook thing, but don't friend request me because I already have enough. When you start getting people like trying to scam you out of money and shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff.
Oh, fuck, I hate that shit, man.
That's why I say anyone that follows me on Twitter, please send me a direct message if you want me to follow you back, because there's so many fake accounts out there. Well, thank you very much, Rene. We appreciate catching up with you and taking this time out of your Christmas to speak to the Canadian and American fans out there. We hope to see you back in Great North Wrestling in 2021. And I hope this Japanese thing that's kind of been put on hold explodes for you next year.
I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, hopefully we can do some Grand Prix shows and Great North shows and SW Fury shows and have everybody do stuff together and bring back wrestling. I know it might be a pipe dream, but you got to dream something, right?
I think a lot of people want to see some the Hannibal TV tapings on the East Coast. People have been wanting that, so that's bound to happen.
Yeah, man. Fun.
There is a few matches actually, or there's one match where Rene had the whole home field advantage, and I will admit he did beat me for the Canadian Championship in Prince Edward Island. That match is actually on the Hannibal TV.
I almost tore my ACL in that match, dude, when you did the dive. It was swollen for like 4 days.
I just remember the people were all commenting that when we hit the ropes, the ring was swaying a little.
Because the fucking breakers on the bottom they broke, and it was a Sunday. Was it Sunday afternoon? And
I don't remember. It was a nighttime show.
Yeah, but okay, but I mean, when we got there and the breakers broke, and it's a small town, you can't find the fucking thing. So
yeah,
shit happens.
That one would be a good one to go back to because the arena staff were good there. They cooked lobster before the show for the wrestlers.
Yeah, he's my boy. He got us some booze afterwards. It was nice.
There you go. But you know what? This feud, you're lucky I'm retired because we don't have to fight again. But I will put you up there. You are a very tough competitor. People underestimate you sometimes. He's one of the hardest hitting wrestlers I've ever wrestled. So I'll let you close this off, Rene, and I'll shut it down.
Well, happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. And support Hannibal TV. The more subscribers, the better, because I think we're planning on big things here to bring back professional wrestling in some form back to the world and to the subscribers that love professional wrestling. So
thank you for watching the Hannibal TV.